What if I told you that the very act of searching for peace is what's keeping it away from you? You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the ground, your mind is already running, a mental list unfolding like a scroll with no end. Things to do, things to fix, things to become. And somewhere beneath all of that noise, there's a whisper, a quiet longing. I just want to feel at peace. So you chase it. You buy the book. You download the app. You light the candle, sit cross-legged, and try to quiet the storm inside. And for a moment, maybe just a moment, it works. You feel it, a softness, a stillness. But then it slips away, and you're back to searching. You tell yourself, maybe I'm not meditating right. Maybe I need a better routine. Maybe peace is something I haven't earned yet. So you chase harder. You scroll through quotes that promise serenity. You listen to voices that tell you to let go, to surrender, to just be. And you nod along thinking, yes, that's it. That's what I need to do. But here's the strange thing. The more you try to get to peace, the further it feels. Like trying to grab water with your fists. The tighter you squeeze, the more it escapes. And you start to wonder, am I broken? Am I doing something wrong? No. You're just caught in one of the oldest illusions of the human mind. You're treating peace like a destination, like a place you can arrive at if you just follow the right map, take the right steps, make the right choices. You've turned it into a goal, a finish line, something out there waiting for you to finally be good enough, calm enough, disciplined enough to reach. But what if that's the problem? What if peace was never meant to be chased at all? There's a teaching in the Sufi tradition. It goes something like this. You are searching for the treasure, but you are standing on it. Peace is not a place you go to. It's not a state you achieve. It's not something you do. It's what remains when you stop running. Think about it. When you chase peace, you're operating from the belief that you don't have it. You're coming from a place of lack. And that lack becomes the lens through which you see everything. You meditate to get peaceful. You breathe deeply to become calm. You organize your life to find clarity. But the very act of chasing creates distance. Because peace isn't an object. It's not outside of you. It's not hidden at the end of some spiritual journey or locked behind the door of perfect discipline. It's already here. It's the background hum of your existence. The stillness that's always present beneath the noise. The space in which all your thoughts, all your emotions, all your striving takes place. You don't chase the sky. You don't pursue the ground beneath your feet. And you don't need to hunt for peace because it's the very fabric of your being. The problem is, we've learned to overlook it. We've been conditioned to believe that peace is something rare, something earned, something reserved for monks on mountaintops or people who finally figured life out. But peace doesn't require you to be different than you are. It doesn't ask you to fix yourself first. It's not waiting for you to become more enlightened, more mindful, more put together. It's here, right now. In this breath, in the pause between your thoughts, in the quiet that exists even in the middle of chaos. The Zen masters have a phrase for this: nothing to seek, nothing to find. Not because there's nothing valuable in life, but because what you're searching for is not separate from the one who's searching. You are not separate from peace. You are peace looking for itself. So what does that mean for you today, in this moment? It means you can stop. Not stop living, Not stop growing or caring or trying, but stop chasing. Stop treating peace like a test you haven't passed yet. The next time you feel that restless ache, that sense that something's missing, pause. Don't immediately reach for a solution. Don't open the app, don't recite the affirmation, don't try to fix it. Just notice. Notice the silence beneath the restlessness. Notice the stillness that holds the anxiety. Notice the awareness that's watching all of it unfold. That awareness that witnessing presence is peace. It's not disturbed by your thoughts. It doesn't disappear when you feel anxious or sad or confused. It's always there. Constant, steady, like the sky behind the clouds. You don't have to create it. You just have to stop overlooking it. And maybe, just maybe, the shift isn't about doing more. It's about noticing what's already been here all along. There's a story about a student who went to a great teacher and said, "Master, I want to find inner peace. What do I need to do?" The teacher smiled and said, "You need to stop wanting to find it." The student frowned. "But if I stop wanting it, how will I ever get it?" The teacher replied, "That's the problem. You think peace is something you get. We live in a world obsessed with becoming. Becoming better. Becoming more. Becoming the version of ourselves we think we're supposed to be. And on the surface, that sounds inspiring. Growth is beautiful. Transformation is real. There's nothing wrong with evolving. But somewhere along the way, we started believing that who we are right now isn't enough. That we need to be fixed, improved, upgraded. And so we turn peace into another item on the self-improvement checklist. Step 1, meditate daily. Step 20, practice gratitude. Step 3, let go of the past. Step 4, achieve inner peace. We approach it like a skill to master, a level to unlock, a badge to earn. But here's the trap. The more you treat peace as something to become, the more you reinforce the belief that you're not peaceful now. And that belief, that quiet, relentless belief that something is missing becomes the very thing that keeps you searching. It's like trying to find your glasses while they're on your face. You're looking everywhere except where they already are. Alan Watts once said something that cuts straight to the heart of this. The reason you want to be better is the reason you aren't. Read that again. The reason you want to be better, more peaceful, more present, more enlightened is because you believe you're not those things now. And that belief creates a split, a gap between who you are and who you think you should be. And in that gap, there's suffering. Because you're always measuring yourself, always falling short, always one step away from where you think you need to be. But what if there's no gap? What if the peaceful version of you isn't something you need to become? What if it's who you already are, just covered up by the story that you're not? Think of it this way. A lake doesn't become still. Stillness is its natural state. The ripples on the surface come and go, but the depth of the lake is always calm. You are that lake. The ripples, the anxiety, the restlessness, the overthinking, they're real, they're there. But they're not you. They're just movement on the surface. The depth of you, the awareness, the presence, the being beneath all the doing that's already still. You don't have to create it. You just have to stop mistaking the ripples for the whole lake. The ego loves the idea of becoming peaceful. Because if peace is something you become, then the ego gets to stay in control. It gets to be the one working toward it, managing it, achieving it. But true peace doesn't belong to the ego. It's what's left when the ego stops running the show. When you stop trying to become someone, you realize you already are someone. Not someone perfect. Not someone who has it all figured out. Just someone who's here. Alive. Aware, and that's enough. So how do you step out of the trap of becoming? You start by questioning the voice that says you're not enough. The next time you feel that familiar pull, I need to be more peaceful. I need to fix this. I need to get better, pause. Ask yourself, who is it that needs to be more peaceful? Not in a philosophical riddle kind of way, but genuinely, who is the I that feels incomplete? Is it your body, your thoughts, your emotions? Or is it a story you've been telling yourself for so long that it feels like truth? Most of the time, the feeling of not enough isn't coming from reality. It's coming from a belief. A belief that was probably planted a long time ago. Maybe by someone who meant well. Maybe by a culture that profits from your dissatisfaction. But it's just a belief. And beliefs can be seen through. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to argue with them. You just have to stop giving them the final word. Because the truth is simpler than the story. You are here. You are breathing. You are aware of this moment. And in that awareness, there's already a kind of peace. Not the Instagram version. Not the perfect, pristine, problem-free version. But a real, human, grounded peace. The kind that doesn't need you to be anything other than what you are. There's an old Zen poem that asks, what is the sound of one hand clapping? It's not meant to have an answer. It's meant to break your mind's habit of needing one. Because the mind loves problems. It loves questions it can solve, puzzles it can figure out, goals it can chase. And when you turn peace into a problem to solve, the mind goes to work. It analyzes. It strategizes. It creates a 10-step plan. But peace doesn't live in plans. It lives in letting go. You've probably heard that phrase 1,000 times. Just let go. And maybe it's even frustrated you, because it sounds so simple, but it feels so impossible. Let go of what, how, and what happens if I do? The fear underneath is real. If I let go of control, will everything fall apart? If I let go of trying, will I stop growing? If I let go of the search, will I lose my way? These are honest questions. And the answer isn't to dismiss them. The answer is to understand what letting go actually means. Because it's not about giving up. It's not about becoming passive or indifferent or numb. Letting go is about releasing the grip. Think about holding a bird in your hand. If you squeeze too tight, you'll hurt it. If you open your hand completely, it might fly away. But if you hold it gently present, aware, but not clinging, it might just stay. That's the paradox of peace. The tighter you chase it, the more it eludes you. The more you let it be, the more it reveals itself. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. You stop trying to force life into the shape you think it should be. You stop demanding that peace show up on your terms, in your timeline, in the exact way you've imagined it. And in that release, something softens. There's a Sufi teaching that says, when the heart weeps for what it has lost, the spirit laughs for what it has found. What you lose when you let go is the illusion of control. What you find is something far greater: trust. Trust that life isn't happening to you. Trust that you don't have to carry everything alone. Trust that peace isn't something you manufacture, it's something you uncover when you stop trying so hard. The mystics have always known this. They speak of surrender not as defeat, but as grace. Because when you stop fighting reality, reality stops fighting back. When you stop resisting what is, you discover that what is already enough. Not perfect, not pain-free, not without challenge, but enough. And in that enoughness, there's a deep, quiet peace. Not because everything is fixed, but because you've stopped needing it to be. So what does letting go actually look like in your life? It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to quit your job or move to the mountains or renounce all your responsibilities. Letting go can be as simple as this. The next time you're caught in a spiral of worry or planning or mental rehearsal, pause. Take one breath and ask yourself, what if I didn't have to figure this out right now? Not forever. Not as a way of avoiding life, just right now. In this moment, what if you let yourself not know? What if you let yourself just be with the uncertainty, the discomfort, the not having it all together? That's letting go. It's the gentle act of loosening your grip on the need to control, to fix, to solve. And in that loosening, you might notice something unexpected. The weight you've been carrying gets a little lighter. The tension you've been holding starts to ease, and the peace you've been chasing, it was there all along, waiting for you to stop running. There's a question that runs beneath all the others, beneath the searching, the striving, the endless trying to become. It's a question you might not even realize you're asking. When will I finally be okay? When will I finally have it together? When will I finally feel at peace? When will I finally arrive? And the answer, the one that changes everything, is this. You already have. Imagine you've been traveling for years, through deserts and mountains, across oceans and cities, searching for home. And one day, exhausted, you stop. You sit down by the side of the road. You take off your pack, and in that stillness, you realize something. Home was never a place you had to reach. It was the ground you were standing on all along. That's what peace is. Not a destination. Not a future version of yourself that finally has it all figured out. But a return, a coming home to what's always been here. The spiritual teacher Ram Dass used to say, we're all just walking each other home, not because we're lost, but because we've forgotten. We've forgotten that we don't have to earn our place here. We've forgotten that we don't have to prove our worth. We've forgotten that peace isn't something we achieve, it's something we remember. You are not broken. You are not incomplete. You are not a project that needs finishing. You're a human being living in a world that taught you to be a human doing. And somewhere along the way, you started believing that your value was tied to your productivity, your accomplishments, your ability to hold it all together. But that's not truth. That's just conditioning. The truth is softer. The truth is this: you are already whole. Not because you've done everything right. Not because you've healed every wound or mastered every lesson. But because wholeness isn't something you attain. It's what you are beneath everything else. Peace doesn't ask you to be different. It only asks you to stop pretending you're not already enough. So, where does that leave you? Right here. In this moment. The same moment you've been in this whole time. The only moment there ever is. And maybe the invitation isn't to do more. Try harder. Search further. Maybe the invitation is just to notice. Notice the breath moving in and out. Notice the aliveness in your body. Notice the awareness that's been here, quietly witnessing every thought, every feeling, every experience. That awareness doesn't come and go. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't demand anything from you. It's just here, steady, constant, peaceful, and it's not separate from you. It is you, the truest, deepest you, the you that doesn't need to become anything, the you that's already home. So maybe, just for today, you can stop chasing. Maybe you can let yourself rest. Not because the work is done, not because life is perfect, but because you're allowed to be at peace while you're still growing, still learning, still figuring it out. Peace was never meant to be chased. It was meant to be recognized. And it's been here all along, waiting quietly, in the space between your thoughts, in the stillness of your breath, in the awareness that's reading these words right now. You don't have to go anywhere. You're already here, and here is enough. Breathe. You're home.